This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new Integra. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 MDX at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
The Sultan's choice for excitement and a caravan of savings awaits at Toyota of Hollywood. Your wish for savings has been granted with discounts of up to $4,500. Take a magic carpet ride in a Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our Grand Bazaar where you'll find epic savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ADX. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Have you viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The volume, and we did. Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. It is Thursday, October 9th, 2025. It is day number 18,895 since the Miami Dolphins lifted the Vince Lombardi Trophy. It is day number 8,679 since the Canes won their last national championship. And today is day number 108 that Bitcoin is above $100,000. Welcome aboard. Sean Stanley, of course, mastering the platform as he always does. Please smash the hell out of them like buttons, por favor. We need that. Get that algorithm going. Let's go. Oh, man. So what do we got going on today, huh? What are we talking about today? By the way, Bitcoin was going over 123,000 here, and then it went back down to 122,504. Always does this, right? It messes around with the all-time highs, and it kind of crashes and comes down, and then it beats it slightly, went to, 126, and then it comes back down, and, it's kind of plays games with you, bro. Plays games with you. But be ready, because it's about to explode here in this month. Should be at by 100, I say by 135, let's say by the end of this month. That's what I think. I say 135 by the end of the month. How about that? Let's give you that. End of the month, 135,000 for Bitcoin. Okay. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's all I can tell you. I can see Ty in the Bronx already there with a super chat. He says, do these fans realize they're a clown show? Oh, I don't know. What are they saying? Ty in the Bronx again. Panthers 5-3 over the Flyers tonight. Big O, book it. They are minus 220 on the money line. So you'll know. And the over and under is 5.5 goals. So we'll see. But I do like the Panthers to win tonight. There's no doubt about that. So that's good. They got that first game out of the way and all that kind of stuff. They know now, and Flyers have got to play their first game, and it's on the road, all of that. Yeah, I kind of like it. I like our chances here at the Emirates Bank Arena. And by the way, we get a normal time today, 7 o'clock, not that bull crap that the NHL did to us. I mean, how disgraceful is that, dude? Back-to-back champions. It's not like you were a fluky champion and you just won one. No, this is a team that's gone to the playoffs a crap ton of times in a row now and has made it to the finals 3 years, not one, not two, but three. And you put them at 5 o'clock. I mean, really disgraceful, whatever. I don't know. Is the WNBA commissioner now running the NHL? I'm just wondering, because, I mean, if I want bad commissioners, I just go to the WNBA. Nothing worse than that one. So, wow. That's bad, bro. That's absolutely bad.
Anyway, good morning to you all. Hope you all are well. Don't forget, smash the hell out of the like button. You can also make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Dolphins, by the way, interesting. The athletic Jeff George and the Chargers, the line continues to flutter. It went from 5.5 to 4 to 4.5. But now we're back down to 4 again today. So Chargers favored by 4. And here's the interesting part. The money line. The Chargers were minus 400 yesterday. They're minus 210 now. The Dolphins were plus 300. Now they're plus 175. Over and under did not change from yesterday to today. It's still 43.5. But in a way, not for nothing, I'm just saying. But if you got the Dolphins plus 300, it's actually decent value because it's not like the Chargers. They are led by the athletic Jeff George, right? Last time I checked. Okay. So, it's just anyway. So just one of those things. It's kind of interesting how the money line is moving and people still kind of putting money in the Dolphins, side, which is kind of weird. Doesn't really make sense, but hey, it shows you the state of the Chargers too at the same time, and the belief in the Chargers. Anyway, let's see, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? What do we have here? Aquavision. Let's see, Jeff in Long Island. TJ Superman. I like to wish my wife a happy 15th wedding anniversary. Hey, congratulations, TJ Superman, to you and your wife, my brother. That's fantastic. Happy anniversary, man. Happy anniversary. 15th wedding anniversary. That is awesome. That is fantastic, man. Okay? I hope you guys are together another 100. Get to 115. Good for you guys, TJ Superman. That's awesome. I'd like to see Joe Brady as Dolphins' new head coach. Let's see. Alexis Palenzuela, NorCal, Jake from Palatown, Horn Dog, One-Eyed Jack, Stoney Stanley, Boss B, Cosa Nostra, Corso. Let's see. JG Long. Tua's hurt again. He's playing, dude. What are you talking about? You know how many quarterbacks are out? He's playing. I mean, who cares? Everybody gets banged up. It's called football, of course. So, and by the way, he's playing football behind a line that doesn't block. That you expect him to be like injury-free and not get banged up. Don't be ridiculous, bro. I mean, of course, so I get it, bro. You don't like the guy, but don't act too ignorant because it makes you sound pretty fucking stupid. JG Long, Ty in the Bronx, Alejandro Molinar. I really don't care who you are. I will fry your ass. Let's see. I mean, just stupid. You play football. There's guys like out. Like Joe Burrow doesn't even stay on the field ever. It's like a stupid ass comment. Just say, hey, I hate Tua and I can't stand him. And I'm just going to say any negative comment I can. But what? A player's banged up and it's football? What do you expect behind that offensive line? Like, it's stupid. Like, bro, I get it. You don't like the guy, but nitpicking like that is ridiculous. FinFan 911, morning. Ray Varnegas, Christopher Rain. Let's see what else we have here. Skyler, Jay Gatto, Papa, Lenny Pena, Jeremy, Delvis, Brian Radke. Let's see. Nico says Feronis wrote they all should go down together if and when the franchise goes in a new direction, which should be fresh, clean slate. Well, I mean, that's what everybody's going to say. And that's just normal. That's what everybody's going to do. They all pile on in the same way. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. That's just part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get to our 3A graphics sports calendar and the amazing Alan Blanco. If your company, your corporation needs custom printing and embroidery, 786-618-1443. Tonight at Amerant Bank Arena, the Panthers look to go 2-0 and join the Fort Lauderdale United as the only unbeaten teams to start their seasons. The Panthers, by the way, minus 220 on the money line. The Flyers plus 170 on the money line. Tonight we have Thursday night football. It's the Eagles visiting the Giants. Over and under is 41. The Eagles minus 7.5. Money line, Eagles minus 400. And it is the Giants plus 300. Inter Miami back in action on Saturday. They will host Atlanta at Chase Stadium. Miami FC will visit Louisville City FC at 7:30. Fort Lauderdale United, they are off this week. They are back in action next week, October 19th at 2 o'clock. They will visit Lexington FC to wrap up their 3-game road trip before they're back November 1st to take on Brooklyn United, and that'll be at Beyond Bankcard Field. And guess what? We're going to be broadcasting live there. Sean and myself will be out there live, baby, having some fun, all right? Hopefully we'll get some players on before. We'll have a good time. And by the way, we will have Bella Hara on today. So looking forward to that. Off this week. They are back in action Friday, October 17th. All right, Friday night action for the Canes. That is good. That means I get a Saturday off. I mean, Friday we have to do 2 shows, but we will do the post-game show, of course, for that game against Louisville, who's 4-1. They're also off this week, so it's not like Miami has any kind of advantage. Louisville's 4-1, and they're 1-1 in the conference. Miami, of course, along with Fort Lauderdale United and the Panthers, the only unbeaten teams to start their season. So there you go, 1-0 in the ACC also. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Oh, one more note. On the Dolphins side, injury list. Tua, limited practice, thumb and hip. Tyrell Dodson, concussion protocol, out. Larry Borum, Aaron Brewer, Elijah Campbell, all limited practice. Borum with the thumb, Brewer with the pectoral, Elijah Campbell with the quad. Brewer, the pectoral. Tough some bitch, bro. Darren Waller, hip rest, did not practice, so it's more of a precautionary, which is what they do nowadays. When you see limited, it's somebody that's banged up that can practice, but they're like, hey, it's a veteran. They don't really need to go through a full practice, yada, 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 and all that kind of stuff. So that's what they do. Storm Duck, Cedric Wilson, by the way, both back at practice. So there you go. That is your 3A Graphics now, sports calendar. Now it's your complete 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, you can send your questions, comments, insults, maybe even a compliment. We get those once in a while. We get, the compliment here or there. It happens. It's sad when our 1-15 Cam Cameron season didn't make our fans fly banners, but the roster does say a lot. Whatever, bro. I mean, I keep telling you people this. Did it do anything? Did they fire him after a banner, by the way? It's a waste of money. Should have bought Bitcoin. But you know what? The people that fly banners just want to get their shit out there on the news and the newspapers and social media, and then they can tell their buddies, oh, yeah, I did that. But what banner works? What banner works? Logic would have told you fire McDaniel right at that game 3 in the Buffalo game, so you have 11 games to the next game, and that's it. And try something, turn the page, and they didn't. And all you hear is patience, and all you hear, because they're not worried about winning, bro. And that Jeremy Fowler report, when the seats when people aren't going to games, bullshit, dude. You'll just sell them to the visiting teams. And that's it. You'll make your money back. The visiting team will want to come because your team sucks. So they have a great chance of winning. Plus, they're coming to South Florida. They're going to win. Doesn't matter. They're not pressured. I love that part. Well, you know, if the seats are empty, you know, it's a different world nowadays. You know, 20 years ago, there wasn't the transfer of tickets and all that kind of stuff. And now it's just a whole different ballgame now. Fans will fly down, especially to Miami, to Los Angeles, to Las Vegas. You know, you got a destination place, people will go to it. So if the Dolphin fan doesn't want to go, it doesn't matter. The Charger fan will, well, maybe some of them. But everywhere else, yes, the Jet fan, the Bills fan, whatever it is, the Steeler fan, the Ravens fan, they will buy your tickets. So guess who wins? The Ross family. There's zero hurry. So your stupid little billboards and your stupid little planes and all that shit, you know what that is, dude? That's just an ego thing. That's just a me thing, because it's really not going to get anything done. So fly all your silly little banners, post all your little billboards, do whatever you want. The owners don't give a shit about you. I don't know how many times I've got to say, you know, on this show, we're going to give you the brutal honesty no matter what. Like yesterday, I was in the car and I was listening to Hawk and Crowder, and Solana goes, I know we never want to play the doom and gloom game. And I laughed right when I heard that, right? Because it's basically telling the listener, we will not be honest with you about your teams because we're afraid of your reaction. Oh my God, they're talking negative about my team. Oh, I'm not going to listen to these guys. Well, if you're that immature, I don't want you to listen. You know, but I get it. Their style of radio is much more popular. Goof off, really don't break anything. You really don't bring anything to the table in the sports wise. It's just clowning around for 4 hours. In general, more people like that kind of stuff. So I get it. Stay away from actual news and real stuff that's going on, because it's better to make it the lighter side of it, because that's kind of the way you stay, you know, neutral, and nobody will dislike you for anything like that. You know, because if you're negative about something, oh my God, people will, you know, I know I've felt this for 30 years. So I've been battling this forever. So I get it. But I laugh at that because is that really our job? Is our job to avoid the truth? You know, like I told you guys, the consequences of what you're doing this year ruins next year already. Like, you know, we were all trying to see if they're going to build something to win. You're not going to win next year. Again, next year will be some kind of a reset that we're in. It's the second part of the reset here, because you're going to have add new coaches, new schemes, new players. You've been through it a whole bunch. You know, I'm sure, you know, the boys on the afternoon show will, you know, avoid the honesty of it, you know, but I'm not going to avoid the honesty and say, hey, bro, next year we're into another, you know, bad year or transition year, because there's no way. It's just, there's no way, you know, you're just not going to, hey, turn around and we're going to become a perennial playoff team starting next year. No, that's just so rare. It's impossible practically. You know what I'm saying? So be prepared. It's going to be another really long season next year. It's going to be another transitional year again because of what you just started here. Cleared out a whole bunch of stuff. You brought in a whole bunch of young guys. And I love the whole thing. Don't you know what I love about some of the well, no, let's try to place. Let's go get Wilkins and let's go play older. No, dude, that's not what this season's about. Like, it's so many in the media have actually missed everything that's going on here because you're still trying to win. They're not trying to win. There's no way you built a roster as trying to win. And then all of a sudden now you want to go sign veteran players because the Defensive tackles are struggling. You want to go get a veteran guard or somebody to put in because Savannah? No, dude. This is part of it. You got to suck it up and deal with it. And this is why I told you guys it was going to be bad. So I was laughing when I'm in the car yesterday and I'm listening to the guys in the afternoon. And so, well, you know, I know we want to stay away from the doom and gloom. And I go, yeah, of course, because you're a wussy-ass show that is afraid of actually telling people the truth because you're afraid of how they'll react. So stay with your fluff-ass approach to shit. You know, I get it. And that's what people like. They'd rather be lied to. They'd rather be misdirected and, you know, kept busy and all that kind of stuff. But that's just, you know, that's not really our job. It's really not our job. We're supposed to actually be brutally honest about what's really going on. You know what I mean? So if you feel it, the doom and gloom, but you want to avoid it, that's cowardly, dude. That's cowardly. You want to avoid the doom and gloom. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just can't do that here. I'm not going to do that. We'll talk great about, hey, man, it's awesome. The Panthers are kicking some ass. So that's fantastic. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Fort Lauderdale United kicking some ass. We'll talk about the University of Miami football team kicking some ass. Sorry, Dolphins, you don't belong in that conversation. It's your fault, not ours. That's just the honest approach to it all. It's not a doom and gloom thing. You set up your own fate. I don't. You don't. We have no control over it. You know? But at least I know that I'm not going to sit here and make a mockery of everything that goes on. So there's no substance involved. Nah. Yeah, that's nah. I'd rather actually have some substance, make a real assessment of things and say, hey, man, this doesn't look good. This is not a good picture here for this one. Look, the Panthers, the injuries, did I take the negative approach to it? Not at all. I said, if anything, this is the kind of team that's built to overcome the Barkov and Kachuk injuries. Immediately, a lot of people took a negative. I did not. You get what you deserve on this show. Period. End of story. You get what you have earned. And when I look at the Panthers, I look at a super tough and resilient team that is loaded with stars and young stars. You know, something that Inter Miami doesn't do with all the money that Moss or Viola has. Watch the difference. Okay? Watch how, you know, the GM on that side with the owners, they're preparing their team for the future with the Lundells of the world and all that. And then you look at this side on the Inter Miami, and all they do is spend their money on old farts, and they get rid of their young guys. So, you know, you get what you deserve on this show. We give you a fair assessment, good or bad. And when it's bad, we're going to say it's bad. When it's good, we're going to say it's good. When it's great, we're going to say it's great. We're not going to be with this approach of, oh, we want to stay away from the doom and gloom. You know, heard that and wow, weak ass sauce, dude. Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Oh, as your magic genie grants you not to talk Dolphins for a year, LOL. Found 92 Chargers versus Fins on YouTube, born in 91. So I'm seeing games never seen before. That was fun. Hook and ladder. Yeah. That was fun. That was fun. So, yeah. Oh, man. Anyway. What else do we have? If we lose against the Chargers, the fire sale should start. Lenny, there was going to be no fire sale. It was going to be Tyreek and Chubb at the trade deadline. Now it'll just be Chubb. That's all, dude. That's your fire sale, pretty much. They're not going to trade. You can't really trade Phillips. even if he's playing well, because you won't really get his real value and you don't know what his value still is and all that. You're not getting rid of Chop. You're not going to get rid of any of your young guys. It's really, you're not going to trade Minka. Got him signed through next year anyway, because it's the only player you have in the damn secondary. You'll probably add people, new, young, fresh faces from the draft this year to that secondary. It's, that sounds very generality driven. That fire sale and all that. It's no fire sale, bro. It's not a lot that they can do. Chubb is really the real piece that will bring you a nice draft pick, and only because of the numbers, my brother. Because you have Chop, because you have Phillips, two younger guys. And if Phillips plays well and stays healthy, you're going to commit to him and you're going to let Chubb go, because what you do is in the next year, you draft another guy. So you have a young guy under those guys instead of another big salary. You're going to clear out another big salary by moving Chubb. You know what I'm saying? So there will be no like major fire sale or anything like that. Chubb, could I see like a small player, I don't even know, on the roster moved or something? Sure, but no fire sale. That's not going to happen, my brother. That's just, it's not reality. Just not going to happen that way. At least that's, my assessment of it. Take it for what it is. Horn Dog, Hockey Crowder. Yep, it's a comedy sports show. You can't take them serious. Yeah, right, exactly. That's what it is. It's just a goof off for 4 hours. There's really no real when it comes to substance, there's very little to none, overall when it comes to like the real sports substance to it. Yes, exactly. But I just found it funny, like, I know we want to stay away from the doom and gloom, and I'm like, it's like, yeah. Then you're not really a sports talk show. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, let's just wait. It's like I was messing with Furonis and the rest of the riders. Let's just wait till it's obvious to say, oh no, now you've got to fire. Now they're all getting I think Barry may have been the only feisty one out of the group, but outside of that, everybody else is kind of, hands off, and it's kind of weird. It's just weird how, it's funny. Anyway, Marco says there are rumors about Achane being on the trade block. Sadly, Greer put fat money on injury-prone players, and we end up losing a really good player because of mismanagement. Yeah, Marco, what rumor comes through, by the way? What stupid-ass rumor comes through? Just wondering. The worst part is, Marco, is that you follow those stupid-ass rumors, and then you repeat the stupid-ass rumors. Why would you get rid of Achane? The only playmaker you have on offense. And it's not going to, and running backs don't cost you like a world of money. They're not even cap crippling players anymore. So I'm not exactly sure. That's just crap that people throw out there because they've got to fill a 24-hour cycle. And because they have a lot of suckers like you, Marco, you read it and you actually repeat that shit. The title on the show, it says, losing leads Miami Dolphins fans to torturing themselves, like Marco Romero. He tortures himself with a stupid-ass rumor about Achane, just like you torture yourself with a stupid-ass rumor about Rex Ryan or Bill Belichick. I get it, dude. Ross is king-size stupid. I understand all of that. I understand that Ross is one dumb-ass mofo when it comes to football, okay? Real estate, business, all that. He's a genius, okay? When it comes to football, he's a horse's ass, all right? But that family is smart enough to know they can't hire Belichick. And they're not going to bring Rex Ryan here. But does it stop you idiots from actually repeating it and talking about it? No. Why? Because you're so beaten down by the Dolphins, incompetence for 45 years, starting from Shula till now, because Shula was super incompetent, bro. He was just an exceptional coach. But from 1980 on, he was as incompetent as it got when it came to personnel. Don Shula was a fucking joke. A fucking joke. The amount of stupid that he did constantly, it's amazing that he was still able to overcome some of that stuff. Because, man, you think Stephen Ross, by burying the Dolphins and killing them by a first and a third rounder, which doesn't help your front office either, Don Shula ruined first round picks like it was going out of style, dude. He made stupid trades that blew up on his face like Hugh Green or Robin Senline. And it was just a comedy of errors. And it's been going on for 45 years. 45 years. And this is what it leads to. You guys torturing yourselves to the point that you repeat stupid shit that makes no sense. There's no way they would bring Belichick here. That would be absolute suicide for the ownership group. There's no way they bring Rex Ryan here. That would be absolute suicide. But you idiots talk about it. Idiots like Mr. Romero, they're going to trade Achane. Why would they trade Achane? He doesn't cost them anything for another year. They can burn him out for another year and tag him for a year and keep him cheap and all that and burn out the running back tag him for 2 more years and then release him after 6. You know they can do that, right? That's it. That's all. Why would they do that? Why would they get rid of that? But, you know, these are the things, and it's because you people are so tortured that you've been beaten down with all the stupid moves that have been going on for 45 years that you come up with your own stupid moves. It's amazing. Yeah, true Fin fan. Bill Belichick, our new GM, winning. I mean, it's like you see everything going on with Belichick. His entire this is if you ever watched the cover of Kansas, the band Point of No Return, how the ship is going off the edge, like it was like if the world was flat. That's exactly his career. Has gone completely like that. You're going to bring the guy here so he could try to break Don Shula's record? Like, you know, it's like that would incinerate your entire fan base, and it would just that would be the moment that you would really have to like, oh my God, this guy will never be able to step foot again in that stadium. But it's amazing how tortured you people are, that you're tortured to the point that when they throw things at you that make no sense whatsoever, you're throwing them out there or talking about them, repeating them like you actually think there's a chance that it could happen. And then the good thing for the media is that so many of you are not very smart. They can feed off of your ass. And this is why the local writers can tell you, oh, well, no, wait, there's still a playoff chance, you know, if that, because, you know, they're also afraid of the doom and gloom. Oh. Come on, folks. Let's go. Use your head. Use some common sense. It's the whole thing. Oh, Tyreek's going to get traded. No, he will not get traded the entire offseason. No, he won't. Oh, cut Tua. They can't cut Tua. It's just like it goes over and over and over again. You people are so tortured that it leads you to this kind of shit. It's sad, man. It's sad because I see it and I know none of it is going to happen. And you constantly see people repeating it and talking about it and writing about it and posting on social media. And it's like, how dense can you be? Can you just take a moment when you see something? Can you take a moment and think about it? Think about the pros and the cons and how does it make sense or it doesn't make sense or whatever? Oh, we're going to trade for Jonathan Taylor. No, you're not going to trade for Jonathan Taylor. Oh, we're going to trade for Dalvin Cook or sign him right away. No, they're not. They don't want to trade for him. They're not going to sign him and give him any big money. That's not what they do. But no, for months, you had writers talking about, no, you've got to get, Dalvin Cook, because if you get Dalvin Cook, it's the missing ingredient. This is what losing and coming up short and not doing things right for 45 years, this is what it does to the fan base. This is what it does to the media. I saw media talking up Jack Jones last week. Like, are you kidding me? Do you know how bad that guy is? He's a mediocre player. You're starting him because there's nothing out there. That's why. It's not because Rasul is any good. He's a mediocre player. You've got nothing here. Somehow or another, we're going to start talking up like mediocre players. This is what happens. When the standards have been set so low, you say, oh, we need a guy to win a playoff game. That's the standard. That's how beaten and tortured we are as a Dolphin fan base. That the standards are, we just need a guy to win a playoff game, which means nothing. Doesn't mean anything if you can't, perennially get back to the playoffs. If you can't maybe get to the next stage and the next stage after that, and those kind of things. But that's how tortured and beaten down we are, that you idiots are discussing Rex Ryan, Bill Belichick, or the trade of Achane. Like, you got to stop, man. You got to stop. Jay Gatto, thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. He goes, I'm not tortured. That's what firing the leaf up is for. There you go. I got it. Enjoy the leaf. Nico, Blue Jays look legit. Took the Yankees out in 4. Nice to see the Phillies fight off in elimination versus the Dodgers. Agree. I need my Phillies to win more. And I threw out the Yankees. As I've said the last few years, for several years now, they're not the same without old man Steinbrenner, bro. Like, there's no way. That 2009 was the last title for the Yankees. So we're talking 15 years already. There's no way that George is locked out in 15 years. Some guy goes to me, oh, he was out for 18. I go, yeah, bro, the early days. Relax. Once he got it going with Sticks and everybody in the front office and all that, George was relentless and he was a force. There's no way that old Steinbrenner, would have allowed the Yankees to not win a title in 15 years. He would have lost his mind. That's the one thing that I think the Yankees organization has lost, is that final edge that it takes from the top. Like, they're committed. They'll spend money because they make a lot of money, so they can spend money on a good roster every year. They've got the goods, but they're not going to go all out. And that's what old man George did that every single time. Very few owners are truly, truly committed like George was. And he meddled, but the difference is he was still getting results. I mean, the man won 7 world titles, dude. 11 pennants. I mean, that's not something to sneeze at, dude. That's just, you just can't overlook shit like that, And that's the one thing that I see from the Yankees. They have lost that one edge. That's the one thing that they're missing. That last coal that really just ignites that fire. And it's George Steinbrenner. And when they won their last championship, it was him in his deathbed. It was the remnants of what was left. You know what it reminds me of, that 2009 championship? It reminds me of Dallas Cowboys' 3rd championship when Jimmy Johnson left. that it was what Jimmy had left over was in place and good enough to last for a year while he was gone. And then eventually it died out. You know, it reminds me a lot of what Riley did in New York, that he left Van Gundy there and the culture, and then Jeff was able to carry it for a little and did a good job for a couple of years, and then it died out and it never came back again. That's because you lost the originator of the culture. And then he comes to Miami and the rest is history. You know what I mean? So just kind of one of those things. When I look at 2009, it reminds me of other situations like that, you know? It's interesting. You're around long enough, things repeat, you know, in one form or fashion, and you see things where they kind of equate to the same issues. Ty in the Bronx, thank you for the love of the super chat. Remember Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We always encourage that because we get 100% of the donation. We still love the super chats, but stinking YouTube takes 30%. Ty in the Bronx says, Dolph fans are just mentally ill, Big O. Shaking my head. Sad. We are a mentally ill bunch. It's sad. Let's see. These fans do it to themselves. The casual fans listen and believe what these hopium-selling clickbait living media gives them. They just don't have the experience or intelligence to see. It's just kind of obvious. Like, well, you know, I'm going to bring Rex Ryan here. You know, I understand that you got a screwed up owner that doesn't know what he's doing half the time, but come on. It's just, you know. So, anyway. Do you have a short list possible of No, I don't talk coaches until it actually happens, bro. When it happens, and we'll find out what coaches are available, like I've said 100 times already. We don't know who's available. We don't know what coordinators are hot. We don't know what coordinators just finished having a bad season when they were hot ones. We have no idea what former coach might become available. We have nothing. So there is nothing to talk about when it comes to coaches. It's just a bunch of hot air, bro. You know, so it's not even worth talking about, Jesse, until it actually really happens. Edward Thurston Health, thank you for the love of the super chat. Big O, I have a question. Darn, I'm out of time. Oh, Lordy. All right. What else do we have going on? Don't forget, folks, BigCheeseMiami.com, proud sponsors of our program. We love Gary and all the great people at the Big Cheese. It started with Gary and Billy 40 years ago, and it has kept going for over 40 years now. The walls are loaded with Hurricanes memories. Go to 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue and tell them that Big O sent you, and I promise you they will take care of you. That menu is second to none. Let's see. What do we have here? Brian Radke says, good morning. Thanks for all the truthful content. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Even if it's doom and gloom, we will have to give it to you, unfortunately. That's just kind of the way. And I'm glad that I know you appreciate it, you know. I think a lot of the people that stick around are the ones that appreciate the honesty instead of being, you know, drug along and BS'd about crap. We're saying, oh, my God, can we, you know, we have a chance here. No, we don't. Stop lying to yourselves. So anyway, I'd love to talk Canes, Nico. It's just they're off this week, dude. You know what I'm saying? The good thing is the Panthers and, well, the Heat is preseason. I didn't even talk Panthers preseason, bro. I don't care about preseason. I'm sorry, dude. I don't really give a shit about preseason. I mean, the regular season of the NBA, the first couple months, is barely even acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? But I'll talk Panthers because, of course, the Panthers are real. They're championship caliber, and I'm looking forward to the game tonight against the Flyers. And I'm going to be interested. The part that I talked about the other night that I noticed that in the preseason, even though I didn't talk about it, but I watched a little bit of it, and then in the first game of the regular season, I'm going to be interested to see what happens with the Flyers tonight. Are teams going to go out of their way to take cheap shots at the Panthers because they're kind of pissed that they're dominating the league? So that's the theme that I want to look for tonight in this game with the Flyers. Besides, of course, watching the real game and how it breaks down and all the good stuff, that's the other thing that I want to watch in tonight's game is how the Flyers are going after the Panthers. Are they playing hockey? Or is goonery in effect? That's the way I would look at it. Suds, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says, thank you, Big O, for preparing us for this season because I would be losing my shit otherwise. Also, put in my bet for Panthers to win the Stanley Cup three-peat. There you go. See, Suds and myself, we live in reality. We're going to love our Dolphins, but we knew the season was going to suck. It is what it is. And because of this setback, it leads to another setback next year. By the way, that's it's a good tip for you season ticket holders if you're thinking about next year. Just saying. I don't know. Did they already nail you guys for season tickets for next year already? Did they lock your money in already for next year? Did they do that ahead of time? Have you noticed, by the way, that the Dolphins haven't released their second episode of their season thing, that they were doing their own type of video, whatever show, something along the sun or something under the sun or something like that. They released the first episode, and now we're going into week 6, and they haven't even released the episode 2 because there's been nothing good. Oh, my God. I don't even know how you create an episode 2 and put anything that isn't, rough, because that's all there's been. That's some crazy stuff, man. By the way, Bitcoin down at a dip, 121,159. How about that? That is awesome. Anyway. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. All right. By the way, the Belichick stuff is hilarious. Speaking of, you all that are, I don't even know why you bring it up for the Dolphins. Like, Ross is going to do something like that. But to see the news come out and it says Belichick has discussed buyout options with North Carolina hierarchy, and Belichick has signaled a willingness to trigger his own $1 million buyout if he can find a soft landing with another team or in media. Members of Belichick's coaching staff have already spoken to other schools that are expected to be in the CFB playoff about taking on roles during the postseason. From one coach, the Rats are leaving the ship. Some staffers believe a change will come within 2 weeks. Reports of serious recruiting violations remain under investigation at UNC. Recruiting and practice violations have already been proven by the school, according to multiple sources. Using recruit violations to knock down a coach's buyout has become a standard practice. If Belichick can't find a landing spot to trigger his own buyout, he's expected to accept a greatly reduced comprised rate. Belichick's communication with his staff in the past 2 weeks has been described as weird and distant by multiple members of UNC's coaching staff. Multiple coaches were unable to get a hold of him during UNC's bye week. From one defensive assistant, what we've done to these kids is effed up. There are going to be a lot of kids wearing Chapel Bill t-shirts in Uganda. Oh, man. God, so predictable. This guy's so out of tune. How would anybody think that he could go to college and connect? And by the way, Michael Lombardi, I mean, that's as fraudulent as it gets. Like, not only did I know that Belichick was done, and by the way, I don't know, there's quite a few people watching right now. Please smash the hell out of the like button. Get us to 100 already. You could do that right now. Just out of curiosity, I'm just, because I think this. Doesn't the end of the Patriots run without Tom Brady and what's going on now, like, it doesn't damage his legacy, but I don't think people will consider him the best coach ever again. I'm sorry, dude. Like, he's not better than Don Shula. Because Belichick couldn't have any success without Brady. Don Shula went to a Super Bowl with Johnny Unitas, went to a Super Bowl with Bob Greasy, went to a Super Bowl with Woodstock, went to a Super Bowl with Marino. Okay, didn't win them all, but the point is he had a lot of success with other teams and other players and other franchises. That, to me, is a sign of a great coach. The Belichick stuff, he was a great defensive coordinator. There's no doubt about that. But his run as a head coach really just coincides with everything Brady. Everything not Brady doesn't look good for him. And that's kind of, I think that when I look at this situation, it like notches it takes a notch off of it a little bit. When you tell me great coach all around and head coach, now I'm going to put Bill Walsh ahead of him. Sorry. Now I'm going to start putting Andy Reid in front of him, by the way. Because he did it with Philadelphia, and now he's done it with Kansas City. So I'm more impressed. And he's done it with several quarterbacks, and he's developed his own quarterbacks. So I'm going to put Andy Reid ahead of Bill Belichick. These are things that we weren't doing with Bill Belichick during the Brady run. It was like he was becoming the best. Now we got to kind of take a step back and say, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Joe Gibbs is better. Bill Walsh is better. Don Shula is better. Andy Reid is better. We got to start, kind of redefining this whole thing. The 6 titles, 7 is Brady. The 6 titles is, of course, that makes you the GOAT. But why are you I don't look at it that way now, because now I look at the end of your Patriot run, which was a disgrace. And then I look at what you've done here in North Carolina, which proves you really don't know what the hell you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And you paid that Gio Lopez kid $2 million. That's your starting quarterback? I mean, your lack of assessment and talent continues to burn your ass like it did with the Patriots. Except Tom Brady was the ultimate eraser. By the way, at the same time as Belichick's legend shrinks a little bit, Tom Brady's legend grows even more. Because it shows that he actually carried him more than he carried Brady. That's what it shows. I mean, Joe Gibbs won 3 titles with 3 different quarterbacks, and none of them Hall of Famers. That's way better than anything that Belichick has accomplished. Way better. It's not even close, by the way. Joe Gibbs' accomplishment is way better than Belichick's. So he got lucky that the quarterback also took less money, because the supermodel was making so much more, and it was allowed to, give more space. I mean, there was a lot of breaks that he had. I have to tell you that what happened to him now and the end of the Patriots, it knocks it down a couple notches. And I when we used to say he was the GOAT, I'm not putting him there anymore. I'm not. I don't know how you guys look at it, or ladies out there, but he's not my GOAT anymore. I can't give him number one anymore. So let's see what do we have on the chat board here. By the way, let me tell you a little bit about All Year Cooling before I go to the chat board. All Year Cooling and Plumbing. We love talking about Tommy and all the great people at All Year Cooling and Plumbing. They are Florida's #1 AC and plumbing service. Extended warranties, financing available, same-day installations, free repair estimates, 7 days a week service. That is so important, man. Or AC breaks down on a Friday night or a Saturday, or some places won't be available for you. They've been at this for a long time. Homestead to Vero Beach. Okay, so that is South Florida and more right there, and also a new Naples location on the West Coast. We got a lot of listeners over there on the West Coast. A lot of listeners that follow us and reach out to us. Well, you can reach out now to All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Reach out to them, 888-204-5554. That's 888-204-5554. Tell them that Big O sent you wherever you're calling from. They can take care of you. Over 350,000 satisfied customers, man. Tommy and company do it, and they do it right. All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Nobody better. I should know. My AC from All Year Cooling is still here, cranking right now, and it's 15 years, bro. 15 years that I got it from them back in 2010. That is crazy, and still working strong. Okay, so make sure you reach out to my friends at All Year Cooling. They will take care of you. All right, let me go to the chat board. Pat in Nashville says, the truly frustrating thing is that I would be totally okay for a few down years if the LOL Fins could string together a 3-4 year run. Oh, for sure. Dude, if they were 3 or 4 year run as a contender, you could go away for 15 years. I can live with that. We don't even get that anymore. Yeah. Well, I'd give anything for a 3-4 year run of being a contender, for sure. I'd give anything for just one Super Bowl. And so I don't need 2, 3, 5, 10. I would love it, but just give me one Super Bowl, and then, dude, I'm fine. I'm done. Oh, wow. Okay. Super happy. I just need a Super Bowl. Even if it's fluky. You know that, Pat? I'll take all the shitness that I've dealt with for years, but all of a sudden, for 1 year, flukishness steps in, and every 4-leaf clover and every rabbit's foot and every ball bounces our way, and we get lucky and win the Super Bowl, and then we go back to being the Dolphins for whatever. I could do that too. I at this point, I can live with anything. Just get me just one championship. I don't care what happens after. Just one championship. That's all I need. The 2 I saw, I was too young, bro. 7 and 8 years old do not enjoy Super Bowls the way they're supposed to really enjoy it. So I need to enjoy it as an adult. The Ross family won't ever give up this team. It'll be like the Bidwells and how they've destroyed the Cardinals for decades. George, it's not even close, dude. It's not even close, dude. It's not even close. The Bidwells don't have the F1 race. They don't have the University of Miami as a tenant now back playing. And then their stadium hosts some of the biggest events, which I'm sure the Cardinal Stadium probably hosts some pretty big events, but that one hosts some. And then the tennis tournament, they got a hospital on there. Dude, no, it's not even close. They print way more money than the Bidwells. Way more money. But now, here's to back up your point. If the Bidwells can hang on like they could forever, what do you think the Ross family can do when they have created way more revenue streams from that building? End of story. And by the way, does Taylor Swift go there for 4 nights? I don't think so. I'm sure here in Miami, we probably get more concerts at that stadium, more big concerts than they do even in Arizona. They make so much money, George. It's ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. Let's see. Patrick Paul looks to be a good player and a player who can become an anchor for the O-line. But soon they'll talk about trading him. Let's see. Jamie Zorria. The worst part about some of the fan base YouTubers is that they make a gazillion predictions, and the one guesstimation they get right, they live off of that shit like they got on everything. Yeah, exactly, because they got no real insight. They're just guessing. That's all they're doing. Gabriel Perez, hello to you, sir. Matthew Owen, Omar Rodriguez, Chris Johnson. Ty in the Bronx again. Belichick sucks ass, Big O, period. That's what I don't know. Ask Jordan. Anyway. Never know what you'll get here. Jake from Palatine, let's start a GoFundMe to pay off the refs in Miami's favor. Oh, wait. With McDumbass as a coach, we would still lose, probably. Michael Garber, Michael from Vermont. Waller versus Gadsden. I have them both in my fantasy. Will they ever throw to Waller again? F. McDaniel. Michael, I would go to Waller again this week. I would go to Waller. He is the one thing that they can't match up with. So they should be able to get him the ball again for a stretch. But shit, the stretch was pretty good last week. So hang in there, man. You know? Ty in the Bronx, thank you again, dude. You're a stud. Damn. Appreciate the generosity, my man. The Dolphin community is to blame. I wouldn't. I'm going to blame the Dolphins for everything that's gone on. I'm not going to blame us fans or media or anything like that. I'll blame all of us for doing silly shit, but I'm not going to blame our fan base for the Dolphins bring it all on themselves. The Panthers were a disaster until they actually got real ownership. It's kind of the way it goes. All right, let's talk about Acura Pembroke Pines, folks, because the Happy New Model Year is going on right now. That sale where you can get the ADX, the 2025 model, $299 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. 2025 Integra, $299 a month. That is super affordable. Only 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, $419 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. Get on down there, check out all the vehicles. The ZDX, get electrified. Unfortunately, you can't get the $7,500 break for any of the electric cars anymore, but you can still get electrified and get that ZDX. Get on down there to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. And by the way, if you own or lease a vehicle, go reach out to Mike Chan and Jordan Ferber. They do awesome work, man. Good people. And it's a really comfortable service center. They got a nice lounge there. You can relax, watch television. They got a little cafeteria, a little pastelito, a little medianoche, a little soft drink, whatever it is you want while you're relaxing. They got complimentary water. Also, far left side refrigerator on the bottom corner. Okay, just to give you a little tip when you go. You're like, wait a minute, I know complimentary water. Big O says right there, far left corner, you'll see a refrigerator on the bottom left corner. Right there, you can take care of yourself and enjoy a little bottle of water there at, of course, 15601 Pines Boulevard. It is Acura of Pembroke Pines. Ocala Joe, morning to you, sir. He says, I've always been in the opinion that coaches get too much credit when they win and too much blame when they lose. Yeah, it's kind of like the quarterback. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a real team game. Quarterbacks aren't going to have any success if everybody else is not doing their job, bro. You know, and yet we you know, this game is perfect. When you hear one side, they blame Tua for everything. Then when you hear the other side for Herbert, oh, well, no, he's got injuries on the offensive line and running back, and the defense is not very good, and all, But Jim Harbaugh's God. That's all I ever heard, right? Jim Harbaugh's God, and he can overcome and all that kind of stuff. And so, but the excuses are made for others and not for some. And somehow or another, if things are going bad, you're going to blame everything on the quarterback. And when things are going great, you're going to credit everything to the quarterback. And you're going to do the same thing with the head coaches. You're 100% right. But in the end, it's really a team game. Because there is no quarterback that carries a team to a title. That does not exist. Just doesn't exist. Pat Mahomes gets carried by the defense to the title. That's what exists. He can make plays along the way, but the defense is the one that carried him. And that's just the reality of it all. But that's how it goes. That's life. If you don't have a Warren, Laporta, Kelsey type for fantasy, start Waller and it'll pay off, right? I like that. I like that kind of thinking, Jake. That is super solid thinking. If you don't have one of those elite guys that, those are must starts, Waller's the next best option. I love that. Love that. And I definitely would play him over Arondé, over Gadsden's kid. Okay. For sure. You have to, until the kid breaks through and becomes super consistent and all that, then you can do that, but right now, yeah, you gotta, and Tua doesn't have a lot of real go-to options right now. And if I could consider two go-to options, it would be Waddle and Waller. Those are probably my go-to options right now if I'm Tua. Two guys that can find ways to get open, only problem is that they got to, coaching has to help out too, because it wasn't Waller why he didn't catch things in the second half. I love Tua's explanation at the podium. So PC, so protecting the coach. I was laughing with that answer. I probably, if I was there, I probably would have busted Tua's balls and had a follow-up that he wouldn't have been able to get out of, but it's not what we do in the media, unfortunately. We don't really poke and prod to the, push that envelope as much as we should. You know what I'm saying? Or as much as we used to. I just, I don't have time to do all that stuff anymore. That's for sure. Let's see. What else do we have? Hank's genius did not help the Saints after his KC time ended. Yeah, and the organization wasn't nearly as good either at that point. And, listen, man, we all run our course. There's a point where you can't be a fireman anymore. There's a point where you can't be a police officer on the street anymore, right? There's a point where you're not going to be a great quarterback anymore. There's a point where you're not going to be the top CEO, the top sales manager. That's life. There's going to be a time where I can't do this job on a consistent basis and keep the information going and, all that stuff. There'll be a point. It'll happen. You know what I mean? I probably will quit before that happens for sure, but I'm just saying it's going to happen, and it happens for Hank Stram. It happens for Chuck Noll. It happens for Don Shula. It happens for Bill Belichick. Your time will come. It's going to happen. Your time is going to come. There's going to be a point where you can't anchor the morning or the afternoon news anymore because you're not as sharp reading the teleprompter, and you can't ad lib when the teleprompter goes down like you used to, and you're stammering and stuttering and all kinds of stuff, and you're not the same broadcaster, and that's going to happen. So let's not make it sound like everybody can go strong all the way through. It's most of us, we have an expiration date. That's life. You're not going to be the best teacher. that you could possibly be later on in your years, because you're going to slow down and you're not going to be as quick-witted and sharp, and maybe you won't be able to keep up with everything. You won't be able to be the surgeon that you've been your entire life because of whatever physical limitations. Those things happen, man. So, I don't hold that against anybody. I commend you for what you've done, and Hank Stram's career is, that's something that you don't even have to defend how great it was, how innovative it was. Okay, because he had all the movement, all that stuff you saw from the Dallas Cowboys and stuff. He took a lot of that from Hank Stram in the movement and all that stuff. So Stram and Sid Gilman were two guys that were the godfathers of the pass game in football, dude. Like every coach pretty much stole everything from Sid Gilman and Hank Stram, pretty much. Those guys were as innovative as it gets, and to this day, they're still doing everything that Sid Gilman and Hank Stram did. Those guys were special, man. Special. Let's see. Hank's genius. Big O fans should not get so high on hopium for the Dolphin draft trades. Well, I mean, that's just there should be no hopium at all now. You should be done with that. Stop it already. When they start winning and proving, then that's it. Now you can get excited, but we got to stop building up any of this stuff. We got to just like put everybody on double secret probation and until they prove something, and then maybe we can start to give them a little slack. That's kind of the way it goes. Think Blue Dodger says, Big O, biggest smoke show of the WNBA. Mine is Cameron Brink of the LA Sparks. Yeah, she's a smoke show. She's a smoke show. Yeah. There's several very good looking women there. The problem with WNBA players is that they've got their hair picked up and they're not fixed up and all that kind of stuff, and so you don't really get to see them when they actually let their hair down and all that kind of stuff. And then they're like in real clothes where you kind of get to see how they look. And that's kind of what the sports takes away from that. You don't really get to see the ladies, look how they really look. And then you're like, whoa, wow, damn, she's really good looking, that kind of stuff. So that happens a lot in women's sports because they're not fixed up at that moment, What are you going to do? Good point on Gilman. Those Oiler teams were the precursor to Air Coryell. Of course, all these people stole stuff from them, man. All these people. What do we have here? Oh, okay, that doesn't. That's not something that pass on to you guys. By the way, as the lockout or not lockout, government shutdown continues. We're not shut down here. Sean and I are still working hard for you guys. R&M contractors, they're constantly working. Ray and Mike, 305-345-3649. And right now, a little crypto, just tiny crypto moment and talk. Right now, Bitcoin was at around 123. Now it's dropped to 121,407 at this point in time. Silver, by the way, climbs to $50. It's crazy. Gold is at all-time highs. Silver is running crazy. Bitcoin is in the 120s. Do you see what's going on? There's a lot of people that are seeing what's happening in the economy. The dollar is getting destroyed. The overprinting of the dollar is ridiculous. And there's a lot of smart people that are stashing their money in assets. And assets are going to explode. So whether it's Bitcoin, even gold and silver, I think they're gonna have a little pump, but I think they're also gonna have a little cutback because I think people are gonna end up going the other way into Bitcoin when it's all said and done, when people figure it out. But a lot of old heads, people my age or older, are probably doing a lot of the gold and silver. A lot of young people much younger than I am, maybe in their 40s and down, those people are going heavily into Bitcoin. And that's why you're watching assets explode while the dollar is declining, while inflation continues to rise, while the unemployment rate continues to soar. Okay? Luxembourg, by the way, they have an intergenerational sovereign wealth fund, and they have now used 1% of that sovereign wealth fund to invest in Bitcoin ETFs. They are now the first European country to do the sovereign wealth fund, and it's coming. More are coming. This is only the beginning. Okay? All these countries will end up trying to have a Bitcoin reserve because eventually we're at an all-time low in Bitcoin in exchanges right now. All-time low. And it's only getting worse. And that's where the supply shock is coming. And when it does, the violent rips upward are going to freak people out. And they're all going to say, wow, I wish I invested in there. But anyway, that is your crypto segment. And we thank, of course, the folks at R&M Contractors. By the way, go to their Instagram page, RMC Fisher Island, so you can see some amazing work. RMC Fisher Island, complete remodels, kitchen upgrades, waterproofing. So if you have a condo, you need to waterproof your terrace, your balcony, and a flood test report because you want to make sure it drains properly. You don't want it going to the neighbors or anything like that. It's very important, man. Busted pipe, all that kind of stuff saves you headaches from your neighbors. Townhouse, condo, whatever. Call R&M Contractors, bathroom upgrades, floor restoration. They do it all, man. And first class. Call Ray or Mike. 305-345-3649. All right. Corso, are you saying we should treat the Marlins, the Dolphins like the Marlins? No, because the Dolphins spend money. They try. They just don't know what the hell they're doing. They haven't figured it out yet. But the Marlins aren't even trying. So that's all fluke bullshit that went on now they pulled off this year. Whatever. They're not spending any money whatsoever. Marlins are a different breed from anybody else in town. They're not trying to win at all. They're not spending any money. The Dolphins spend money. The Heat spend money. The Heat lately, by the way, Corso, have become the Dolphins. They don't know how to spend their money. They don't know how to manage their draft picks. That's why they are no longer a team that is even a playoff team anymore. They're barely a playoff team. They're a play-in team now. And this year, I'm sorry for doom and gloom and being in reality, they'll be lucky to be a play-in team this year. They're so young, it's just a developmental year. So I'm not going to treat the Heat that way or the Dolphins. They try. They're spending money. Inter Miami, they spend money. They don't know how to really spend it right. But, hey, at least they brought Messi and they're entertaining our Argentine community. But the Marlins aren't even trying. And what they did this year was dumb luck. So if you want to be a fan of a team that's just hoping for dumb luck, yeah, it's not really the way to go. Joe Tardif, Big O, I feel like if Tua knows the stupidity of Mike McDaniel's play calling, why not just call out your own in the huddle? And do you know if that's a thing some QBs do? Back in the day, yes. Now they don't. Not anymore. When I was a kid, quarterbacks that had the entire playbook in their wrist and they could do whatever they want. They could change plays. Marino did that. John Elway did that. Jim Kelly did that. That was a different era. Nowadays, quarterbacks don't do that. I think Tua did it one time. And it was a successful play. It was a big play. But he did it one time. And it was because, of course, it was something like the play was coming in late or it wasn't the radio got garbled. I forgot what the story was. So he had to kind of ad-lib and run his own play, and it was successful. But no, he won't do that. He won't. Look at Russell Wilson, dude. Look at Russell Wilson. You're in the Super Bowl. They call a pass play at the 1 yard line. You're like this. Okay. That's the moment. Hey guys, we're gonna run. We're gonna hand it off, and that's it. That's all. That's the moment where the quarterback's supposed to go. He's not supposed to tell everybody what happened. Now these guys want me to pass. Hell no. We're handing off the ball and we're winning the Super Bowl. What can I tell you? So that's today's quarterbacks in college and in the NFL. They're not allowed to think on their own and change plays and all that because the people on the sidelines are so insecure. You've got to do exactly what they want you to do. So that's where the game has changed. You don't get that really anymore. Just doesn't happen. Corso, damn it. Thank you very much. I get it. I had no expectations going into the season. I'm just so effing frustrated. I get it. We all are. It's been 45 years, bro. For me, at least. Some of you aren't that old, but for me, I've been watching this for 45 years. The constant screw-ups. So, Edward Thurston Howe, the league went to pass happy when the Dolphins drafted Dan Marino. This is why Shula was so good. He won games and Super Bowls with a running game and then won a lot of games in the passing game. But because he didn't get back to the run and on defense, he never won it all. And he ruined it for Marino, unfortunately. We never really built the team around Marino, bro. We never helped him out, unfortunately. Brett Dodger says, any chance for a Big O, I am not a financial advisor t-shirt? That's actually that's funny. That is funny. That would be an insider type shirt, but okay. I could talk to Rajan and do like a Bitcoin shirt that also says I'm not a financial advisor. That could be funny. Yeah, especially if you follow me, I always tell you that because I am not a financial advisor. That's for damn sure. Oh, man. All right. What else do we have? That Seattle Super Bowl is the worst play call ever. Yeah, but it's the worst play call ever. But the fact that the quarterback went through with it, it shows you how we are nowadays with that. Somebody just sent me a Miami. Oh, there it is. A Miami goldfish. Is that the logo going around now? It's pretty accurate. Maybe we should call it the Goldfish pre- and post-game show. Sean, what do you think about that? I mean, we used to go with the Panthers, meow, 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 meow. So, Goldfish might be apropos, as they say. That might be a good one. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Oh, you know what? Let me do a little music here. What the hell? Don't forget, folks, please smash the hell out of the like button. Very, very important that you smash the like button and get that going for us. Okay? Let me get you musicians. Get back to a little sports talk after this. Sean Lennon, by the way, the only child of Sarah Sean Taro Ono Lennon, only child of John and Yoko Lennon, celebrating a birthday today in 75. Terry Balsamo, former guitarist with Evanescence, born in 73. Not necessarily a strong list. Sharon Osbourne, of course, wife of Ozzy, born in 52. Rod Temperton, record producer, songwriter, born in 49. He's like a genius, bro. Guy's been with so many acts, it's crazy. Jackson Brown, now we're getting better, born in 48. Nona Hendrix, born in 44. John Entwistle, bassist, The Who, rest in peace, born in 44. We lost him at the age of 57 in 2002. John Lennon was born on this date in 1940. Okay, now the list got really strong, bro. I forgot that Sean was born in John's date. I remember now that was a thing. That's pretty cool when your son is born on your birthday. All right, let's go with other famous people celebrating birthdays. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means they are no longer with us, unfortunately. Baseball Hall of Famer Rube Marquard, born in 1886. Hall of Fame member Walter O'Malley in baseball, 1903. Writer, actor, and New Bomb Turk, Robert Wool, born in 51. He is 74. Go New Bomb! Tony Shalhoub, love Tony Shalhoub, born in 53. He's 72. Scott Bakula, born in 54. He's 71. Michael Paré, born in 58. He's 67. Can't coach him. Can't win with him. Michael Singletary, Hall of Famer, born in 58. He's 67. Guillermo del Toro, filmmaker, born in 64. He's 61. Musician PJ Harvey, born in 69. He's 56. Hall of Famer Annika Sorenstam in golf, born in 70. She's 55. Actor Tyler James Williams, born in 92. He's 33. He's funny. Model Bella Hadid, born in 96. She's 29. That is, folks born on this date. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers?
Yes, sir. Busy day in wrestling birthdays. Brandon Traven turns 40. Brian Hebner is 47. Daniel Puder is 44. Gene LaBelle was born on this date in 1932. Jun Akiyama is 56. Kentaro Hoshino was born on this date in 1943. Rockin' Robin, she's 61. Hideo Yasuda is 62. Stevie Richards turns 54. And the great, the one we lost way, way too early, Eddie Guerrero, was born on this date in 1967. And on a personal shout out, my oldest daughter, she celebrates a birthday on October 9th, 2025.
Happy birthday. All right, let's get to, don't forget, please smash. Let's get it over 100. Smash that like button. Let's get to what happened today, music history. All right. In 61, Ray Charles started a 2-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with Hit the Road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. In 73, Elvis Presley and Priscilla divorced after 6 years of marriage. Priscilla was awarded property, $725,000 in cash, and $4,200 a month in support. Back in 73, $4,200 a month. Wow. That's a lot of money, bro. You're living like an extravagant life. In 76, the Sex Pistols signed to EMI Records for £40,000, $68,000 in those days. The contract was terminated 3 months later, with the label stopping production of Anarchy in the UK single and deleting it from the catalog. EMI later issued a statement saying it felt unable to promote the Sex Pistols record in view of the adverse publicity generated over the last few months. They were a little controversial, just a tad. In 85, on what would be John Lennon's 45th birthday, a section of Central Park in New York City was christened Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, in his memory. Strawberry Fields forever. In 89, Jesus and Mary Jane released her third studio album, Automatic. It features Head On and Blues from a Gun. In 93, Nirvana entered the U.S. album charts at number 1 with Utero, their third and final studio album. In 2000, Dennis DeYoung of Styx, unable to tour because of debilitating fatigue, sues the band for touring without him. The suit is eventually settled, but DeYoung never returns to the fold. Styx carries on without him, but leaves most of his songs out of the set list. Happens. In 2001, Bono, Michael Stipe, and Moby made an unannounced appearance in New York for their second of 2 anti-violence benefit concerts organized by the Beastie Boys. In 2007, LeAnn Rimes released her 9th studio album, Family, which features the hit singles Nothing Better to Do and What I Cannot Change. In 2012, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis released their debut studio album, The Heist, and it features singles Wings, Can't Hold Us, Same Love, Thrift Shop, and White Walls. And that is it. Let's see if there's any birthdays that were not on that other list. Sometimes this one has it. Nope. That is it. That's what happened today in Musica history. Beautiful. All right. Do me a favor, Sean. Voice is a little rough here. Give me 3 minutes. Let me give me a quick break here. Let me rest the voice. Back, talk a little Dolphins and a little Canes when we come back right here on the Big O Radio Show.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The 2 dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. You gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. See, getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ZDX. Only $459 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink, be the maestro of your own home.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Thank you all. Appreciate you all giving us a little bit of a break. I rarely take breaks, but voice was getting a little rough, so I figured take a little rest and take a couple of sips there of water. Good thing is I got a break this past weekend, and then this coming weekend, we're only on Sunday. We're not even doing Saturday today because what's called the Canes are off, which, by the way, if you missed our interview with Manny Navarro, you can go back and check it out. We talked a little bit about the challenges of the upcoming schedule and a couple of other subjects that are pretty important for the Canes. That interview, you can check it out there on the platform. Talk to Ira. And the heat season, man, it's one where I don't know. I can't sell you a great season because I have no idea what's going to happen. It's like really, I mean, if you watch a little bit, I don't go too much by the preseason stuff, but You can tell they're young, man. And it's going to be a lot of growing pains, you know? You can tell that there's going to be a bunch of growing pains when it comes to the Heat this year. That's but like I told Ira, and you'll see in the interview, you know, now we get to find out who's who. There's no stars on this team. So we'll find out if somebody can develop into one. You know, the top two guys are never going to be stars. That's already been proven. Okay. Tyler is what he is, and Bam is what he is. You know, I tripped out with Bam the other day, how he wants to take it upon himself to make sure everybody knows that Asia Wilson is the greatest basketball player, female basketball player of all time. You know what I don't like about that is, dude, how come is it that you don't want to be the best? What is it about you, bro? Why is it that you want to be the facilitator? Help everybody else, but you have all the ability in the world, and how come you can't be selfish and want to be a star yourself? It's funny how his girlfriend is wired the right way, and he's wired the right way as a team player, but he has actual physical ability to be a much better than that. So he's maintaining that super role player attitude even in his relationship with Asia Wilson. Interesting. See, stars are selfish, man. That's how they become stars, because they feel that they have to take it upon themselves to get it done. Our boy Bam Adebayo feels like he has to take it upon himself to help somebody else get it done. Odd. It's kind of odd. That's all. Anyway. Pep says never understood why we could not get a little more balance with Marino under center, especially after the Skins and Niners ran all over them. Jimmy provided no solid wideout help, or no, and his run game was crap too. Neither one got it done, bro. Jimmy Johnson was a joke, what he did in Marino, and then Shula couldn't figure it out. It is what it is. You know. So, what are we doing? What else? Big O, I can't wait till Bam and Tyler are traded until their contracts are up. The sad part is that's the only thing that where I stand with the Heat that I'm disappointed that they're not willing to do what it really takes for them to turn it around, and they are just hanging on to hope. I hope they're right, and I hope they find a star in that bunch, because if they don't, I'm not sure, bro. I don't know how they're going to get it done. By the way, Sloman's Home Shield is a proud sponsor of our show, and now ShieldLink. Sloman's been protecting Americans for over 100 years. We're in like 14 different states, folks, so we could be in your state. And ShieldLink is just an amazing addition to the Sloman's family. It gives you professional grade security monitoring with cutting edge smart home automation. Now you can actually lock the doors, adjust the thermostat, switch the lights on or off, view the live camera feeds, create automated routines, all that stuff from a single dashboard right there from your phone. You've got all the cameras. You notice somebody left the house and they didn't leave the porch light on. So now you can just turn on the porch light. God forbid somebody leaves the house and they're talking on the phone and they get, they close the door and then they like get into some kind of a heated moment and they lose sight that they had to lock the door. So you're getting an alert that somebody walked out and the door is open. You got an alert on your phone that the door is open. So you can actually lock the door. You're in the supermarket, lock the door. You're in the office, lock the door. You're in the car, stuck in traffic, lock the door. I mean, how many parents in your lifetime have arrived to get home and they put the key in the door and they noticed that it was unlocked and open, accidentally left open? That can happen to anyone. Anyone. Can't happen with ShieldLink. Now you can lock it. Oh, you're not going to be home till 9 o'clock tonight? The house is dark? Oh, no, it's not. Turn on the porch light. Turn on the outdoor parking lot. Turn the light on in the kitchen. Turn on the AC. I'm headed home. It's been a hot day. House is probably warm right now. Let me turn on the AC. Or maybe you got dogs like we do, so you want to make sure you have the AC on to keep it at a decent temperature for your doggies. That's what we have to do. So that's the beauty of ShieldLink, man. Make sure you call them 866-756-6467. Go to Slomans.com. Ask for ShieldLink. Tell them that Big O sent you. You're going to love it, man. It's a great way of controlling everything in your home. And if you're a mom or dad and you run the house and you've got a lot of other people in the house, that is one weapon that you need to keep everything together, folks. So get ShieldLink and call our friends at Slomans. Let's see what else. Bam is the type of guy that wakes up, looks at himself in the mirror and says, I'm going to be the best super role player I can be. Yeah. That's exactly what he says. Who can I help achieve their best? Don't get that. You know, and again, with Bam, if he wasn't that talented, I would embrace it completely and love it. But he is supremely gifted. He has a shot. He has the skill set. He can dribble. He just doesn't have that fire, bro. His fire is to help you be your best. It's an odd thing, dude. It's an odd thing. So Dolphins, we run to out of town. He wins a Super Bowl with another team. I don't know, but I look forward to the day that Tua leaves. I really do. I can't wait till next season is done. Whoever you bring in as coach or whatever, or whatever happens, I'm sure they'll part ways with Tua, and then we'll see where he goes and see if he can go somewhere where they actually know how to. Now, he has to get out of here in one piece. He's got the rest of this season and next season. He can't keep suffering injuries, too, because his body is not strong enough to overcome injuries. The more he suffers injuries, the less he becomes a player. And that's everybody. And it happens faster to people that are small. If you're bigger, you might be able to take it. It's a whole different ballgame. All right, folks, let's switch a little gears. The Fort Lauderdale United enjoying, of course, an unbeaten season. And the person who has 2 clean sheets in the last 4 games and is absolutely kicking butt and anchoring the defense of the number 1 team in the Gamebridge Super League, that is your Fort Lauderdale United, is goalkeeper Bella Hara, number 31.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Good morning, Bella. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. How are you?
I am doing great. You're one of 3 unbeaten teams to start the season.
Yes, sir.
Florida. I don't know if you know that, because the Panthers are 1-0. The Canes football team is 5-0. And you all haven't lost a game so far this year. So one of the 3 unbeatens. Impressive.
South Florida. South Florida is a hot spot.
So how's it feel for you? Because the first couple of games, you might have been your head on a swivel a little bit there because you guys were giving up some stuff on defense. And then all of a sudden, you just shut it down. and you're just rarely allowing goals. And like I said, you got 2 clean sheets in the last 4 games. You're coming off another clean sheet here, against Tampa Bay. So talk to me about that transition, how it happened, Bella, because you're at the center of it all.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 games, it's a really new team. There's not a lot of returners from last year, so we're bringing in a lot of fresh talent, a lot of girls coming out of college, such as myself. So just trying to adjust to this level and how to play together. And I think in our game against Spokane, we kind of knew, and it kind of finally clicked for us. And we're like, wait, we can do this. We can do this, and we can put away goals, but also not give them up. So I think that was huge for us. And we're just kind of letting the rhythm of the game and the rhythm of the season kind of carry us. But just trusting in our abilities and trusting in the game model that we have established.
Yeah, and I know that the team, those that were there last year, and then obviously the players that joined, I know, obviously you felt the vibe in the locker room. You wanted that game against Tampa Bay because obviously the rematch from the finals. But, I kind of felt like, all right, well, you played to a draw because you're both excellent teams. Hey, now time to get them here at home and get that win. You know what I'm saying? So, all is good, Bella. You know what I'm saying? But that was a tough and contest all night long.
Yeah, we wanted that game so bad. Tampa being one of the only teams that we haven't beaten in this league, and seeing them in the Gainbridge Super League final last year, I obviously wasn't on the team, but you could feel the vibe in the locker room. That's personal. And so we took it very personally. And so to come away with a clean sheet as a goalkeeper, I'm proud of it. But I know that the next 2 matchups that we have in Fort Lauderdale will be really good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. SC, you are getting ready to take on Lexington SC on October 19th. And that'll be the last road game, I believe, out of the 3. It was a 3-game road trip, if I'm correct. That's the last one. And then you come home against Brooklyn.
Yes.
And we broadcast live from on that day from the stadium. So looking forward to that one overall. So as a goalie, because I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, you had a save that you tipped it and it hit the bar and it went over. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So is that the ultimate high for a goalkeeper when you get that killer save that was going to be a goal, but you had to stretch the kingdom come to make sure, and quickness too on top of all of that. Not only stretch, it's the quickness, the reflexes to have it to get there, because that ball was fired and you had to get that quickly. Is that the ultimate high for a goalkeeper when you make a save like that?
I mean, it's either that or a PK save, but I think those moments have the ability to change the rhythm of the game, and Brooklyn was knocking on the door time after time. So to be able to come up big for my team and to just let them know that we're still in this, we're still have the lead, let's go. I got your back and you got mine. And so that kind of shifted the gears of the rhythm of the game a little bit.
Bella Hara joining us, of course, here, and the Fort Lauderdale United goalkeeper. And Bella, when I look at goalkeepers, is there an automatic characteristic for a goalkeeper that if you're not a leader, you can't be a goalkeeper? Because I imagine that, your game commands respect, but at the same time, you've got to manage the people in front of you for free kicks and all that kind of stuff that's going on. So it's almost like leadership has to be a real strong suit of a goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah. So they don't call us the anchor of the back line for anything. You have to make sure your psyche and your mental is in check, but also you have to make sure everybody else is in check. So being a goalkeeper, you always have to be talking. Oh, someone's coming on your right, someone's coming on your left. Oh, keep her wide. And that kind of communication helps with anchoring everybody else's mental. Because if they make a mistake and I'm the first person in their ear encouraging them and letting them know it's okay and I got their back, they're not thinking about the mistake that they just made. They're thinking about the next play. And so I think that's a huge role for us.
How intense are you back there? Because I know sometimes you also, you're not making it personal. It's all there's desperation behind all of this. There's urgency behind all of this. So I wonder, how do you control that intensity in the middle of that communication?
As a goalkeeper, you kind of have to read the vibes of the game. Like, if we're making mistake after mistake, you probably don't want to get on them. My teammates know that I will keep them accountable no matter what, but it's the kind of the tone, like read the room. And then based on that, how can I encourage them? How can I keep them accountable? How can I push them? I tend to not be super on them and super mean because it kind of ruins the flow of the game, but I'm not one to hold back also.
Yeah, no, you can't. You gotta, like you said, you gotta hold people. I think athletes, okay, doesn't matter. I've been at this for 35 years. They don't have a problem being held accountable.
Yeah.
A normal athlete has zero issues because they know they screwed up. It's when you're on somebody's butt, as they say, for no reason at all, or maybe because of something that really wasn't their fault or something. That's when you're going to have an issue. But usually athletes, that's kind of what it's all about. They're going to make mistakes. I mean, that's the way it goes, right? So it's just kind of part of it. So you're playing the Gamebridge Super League. You're playing with the Fort Lauderdale United, but you also play on your national team with Guam. So I'm just wondering the enthusiasm that must get to a player when you're able to play for your national team, because that's got to be such a cool thing.
Yeah, my first appearance with the senior team was unforgettable. We had practiced the national anthem before because it's in the native language of the island. And the chant that we do before the game is also in that native language. So being able to know the meaning of that anthem in its language, but also be able to say it proudly with my hand over my heart, representing my island and that flag, it's the most unreal feeling as an athlete. And to be able to play against other people who represent their nations is an ultimate privilege. Is something.
Yeah. It's obviously when I saw it in your bio, and then I see you've been to 10 countries.
Yes.
Is that also part of the beauty of the game, that you've been able to travel and enjoy parts of the world because of the game?
Yeah. So in the past 3 years, I have been to, China, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Cambodia, and also Guam, just to play in the last 3 tournaments that I've been in. So to just be able to travel the world, see what their culture is like, see what the culture of their football is like, is really interesting as well.
Yeah, it's the best is traveling, because you get to see how other people live and how other people, whether appreciate how they handle life or how they appreciate sport too. At the same time, because it's obviously the beast that you're in. Obviously, when it comes to being competitive, so that's really cool. I was noticing that you're a San Diego girl, and so I've been out to the West Coast a lot, and I'm not sure if you've been to this university or not, but I would imagine that most people that are from that area kind of know. Have you ever been to the Pepperdine, what's it called, campus?
Yes, the one that overlooks the ocean in Malibu.
Is that not the greatest campus in the world?
Yeah.
Bottom line, I mean, I can't imagine an athlete just practicing and the entire Pacific Ocean is just there. Like, oh my God, it is crazy. Did you play a game there at all as a player?
I've never played there, but a lot of my friends played there, so we went and watched them play. But I'm like, if you kick the ball over, is it going in the ocean?
I was like, because I always love asking people from out there, because most people don't even know about it unless you've been there, or maybe you saw it on TV or something from some kind of an event. Like you don't realize, like Pepperdine. You're like, oh yeah, that's that little university, and that basketball player used to play for them, that played for the Magic, or whatever. You start thinking about maybe a guy that played for him. But that university is so gorgeous out there, man. Out on the coast, yes. I was just like, that is just absolutely phenomenal. So I see you're one of your favorite TV shows of all time is Friends, correct?
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, are you a Jennifer Aniston fan?
I am a Jennifer Aniston fan. I'm a Jennifer Aniston in almost every film that she's been in.
Okay, so are you watching the morning show?
Oh, I hate to break it to you, I'm not. But
you got to watch it.
Okay, I will. I don't definitely watch it.
I just start. It's in its 5th season.
Okay.
I'm now with the wife in the middle of the 3rd season.
Wow.
We just started binge watching it like a couple of weeks ago. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So if you're such a Jennifer Aniston fan, her acting, like it'll get to a point where you'll dislike her at times as much as you like her, because she does such a great job of being this tortured TV personality. So just in case, because I saw you were Friends, was that your favorite character?
Yeah, that or Chandler. I love Chandler.
Oh God, yes. Rest in peace.
So good.
Yes, yeah. His wit was constant and awesome in the show. So, we've had other Fort Lauderdale United players on that are also Star Wars fans. So why is it Star Wars Awakens?
I knew you would ask this question. Okay. My family are unreal Star Wars fans. Like, we decorate our house decked out in only Star Wars for Christmas.
I love it.
If you're ever in San Diego, go check it out.
Will.
But so my parents grew up watching it.
I might bother Isabel about that when I go out west with the wife, and
I'm telling you, I will put you on.
I might actually go to Los Angeles for the Rush concerts since they're getting back together.
Oh, yeah.
And they got this female drummer, Annika, who is freaking amazing. She's going to fill in for Neil Peart. So I might go to the Los Angeles shows. Maybe I take you up on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. My parents fell in love, and they fell in love kind of over Star Wars. And so when the movies hadn't come out for decades and we finally got a new film, my parents and I and my little brother, we went to the movies, and the opening credits, nothing had even happened. It was just like the little monologue on the screen. My parents are bawling, tears. The whole family's bawling. And so that was just like a core memory for me. And it was like a film that I could actually be like, I watched that at the premiere, and I was able to be there with my family. But I really love 4, 5, and 6 as well. But just the memories associated with 7. Really
What's your favorite character?
It kind of goes between Han Solo, or I like Rey a lot.
Yeah.
Rey, and just her aura that she presents is awesome.
I'm hoping that they create a Rey series.
That's what I'm saying.
She's got that vibe that you can. No, seriously, she's got that Luke Skywalker vibe.
Yeah,
she does. And they really nailed it when they picked her, because that's one that just kind of resonates, overall. So I see. Now, are you a Disneyland person because you're a West Coast person? Have you been treated to Disney World now that you're here in Florida?
Yes. So my family's also very big Star Wars fans. Like, my parents like to call themselves Disney adults. But I will be one of those in the next couple of years.
My wife is guilty of that. We have no problem. We love going to Disney and going there all the time. Yes. Same thing.
But yeah, so Disneyland is very homey to me. I've been going a countless amount of times my entire childhood, but every now and then we will go to Disney World. So I've been able to go to all the parks at Disney World. My favorite is Epcot, though, for sure. Just all the nations that you could eat and drink at, and then all the rides that are associated with those cultures. It was really interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Epcot's actually my favorite, and you and I are the same. You've been going since you were a tite to Disneyland. I went since 1970 when it opened up.
Mm-hmm.
It actually opened up on my birthday, by the way, October 1st.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so I've been going there since I was a kid. But going to Disneyland is so smaller than Disney World. I always trip out with the people that, when they get to see both and they compare and they go, wow, Jesus. Disneyland is half the size maybe, or a third of the size of Disney World, because Disney World is enormous, obviously.
Yeah, I'm walking 3 times the amount of steps that I walk in Disneyland.
Yes. Yeah, and they keep adding and they keep adding and they keep adding. All right, so the other thing that I saw is you met Taylor Swift.
Yes. I did briefly meet Taylor Swift.
How? What happened? What was it?
One of my great family friends works at the radio in San Diego, so we were able to get backstage meet and greet kind of passes to her concert when she came. I think it was during her Fearless era. But yeah, so we were backstage and everybody's waiting to meet her, and she walks out and first of all, she's tall.
Yes.
And then she has heels on. So I'm like 8 years old and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's huge. But she was like a goddess, like so pretty, so nice. And so just to be able to meet her and say that I've met her is like one of the greatest accomplishments of my life.
Yeah, well, she's the biggest star in the world, man. I mean, when it comes to music, her and Beyonce. I don't know, it starts and ends with them right now. I mean, they fill stadiums all over. Did you go to the recent concerts that came in the town? Because obviously,
No, I don't have that in the budget, unfortunately.
most of us don't. I know that is just quite a challenge. All right, so I know you're enjoying the week off now as you get ready for Lexington. What's like the week off here? Is there as much practice? Is there more working on the body because you're beaten up? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you take a beating back there. So what's the off week?
Usually, if we have a bye week, we'll start the week off with a Sunday, Monday off just to let us reset mentally and physically. And then we'll go into practice. And I think this weekend we're having an inter-squad scrimmage just to like make sure we're getting our game fitness, our game minutes. But the rest of the week is pretty much as follows, like how our usual game weeks are. We just increase the load and we're not managing the load as much. But by the end of the week, we start to taper off a bit with the load just to make sure we're getting in next week and we're ready to hit the ground.
Are you that kind of a gym rat that you're going to watch also some of the league action this weekend or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I have Peacock. I'm ready to watch, and I'll always watch every single live game in the other league.
Yeah, because you're the goalie.
Yeah.
You got to see all the habits and the way people like to shoot at the goalie or whatever it is, what angle it come from, all those kind of things. You got to remember habitually everybody's way of playing.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, it's kind of
learn their habits on how they like, because you know how it is. Like Messi, every day, you got to stay away from that left foot, and he still will kill you with that left foot. You know what I'm saying? Once in a while, he'll kill you with the right too. But you see habitually where he's going to go. You got to do the same thing for all these people.
Yeah. It was insane. Prior to coming here, I had watched the Super League when I was in college. And so being able to like have repetition on seeing how people play in the other teams and like how that carries over to the season has helped me a lot.
That's great stuff. All right, Bella, thank you for taking some time. Look forward to the game next week. I'm a little pissed that I don't get any Fort Lauderdale action, but you know what? You guys need your rest, so it's all good. Keep that unbeaten streak going, relax, and catch in a Star Wars movie or something.
Yes, if you need some Christmas lights, I got you.
There you go. Good luck next week. We appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Got it. Our pleasure. There you go. Man, goalkeeper Bella Hara, number 31, there for the Fort Lauderdale United. And when we talk about the United folks, you can go to the store. You can get like this hat, different colors, great logo. They got shirts, they got jerseys, they got all kinds of stuff. They got the kit. You can check it out. Go to 7601 Southwest 39th Street in Davie. They got a store there. You can walk in, buy anything. You can go online, by the way, if you don't have time. Go to Fort Lauderdale United FCshop.com. You can buy tickets at FTLUTD.com. Call them 954-241-0618. Get on the bandwagon. They're doing it right at the Fort Lauderdale United. All right. And we thank Bella for that one. Excellent interview. Appreciate it. Pretty cool. All right, what else do we have here on Le Programme? You guys got any questions, comments, insults, all kinds of stuff? Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. By the way, Bitcoin is at 121,295. The markets right now, where are we? Let's see where the market's at. We are the Dow is down 140 points. The S&P is down 16, and the NASDAQ is barely up half a point. Yes, that is it. And that is all. All right. Good stuff. Anything else? I think I have when Bella was talking about she had been to 10 countries, I started to think about how many countries I had been to. And I started the list. I don't think I've finished it yet because I'm trying to figure out all of it. Spain, Germany, Panama, Cuba, Switzerland, Bahamas, Jamaica, Canada, Mexico. I'm trying to think of what other, because I know when I went to Europe, I went to a couple of other countries. But I was thinking about that too. Only thing is, I don't get to play like a sport like she does. That's the cool thing for athletes, right? Especially soccer athletes. They get to travel all around the world, man, and play tournaments all over. That's cool because she's young and she's already been to 10 countries. That is like a very cool experience. If there's one thing that I look forward to in my older age now with the wife is to go travel a little bit more and go to different places. You know, I know Italy I went to also. France. Yeah, I went to France when I was 18. I went to France with my wife. I mean, there's a bunch of other countries that I haven't even marked down that I know I've been to. But it's fun. That is a cool thing to be able to experience, to be able to go to, different countries and get to see how people live. I think to me, that is actually one of the more exciting things to do. Thoughts on Kevin Stefanski as head coach, two-time coach of the year winner. I think Cleveland lets him, Tony B, when they let him go, we'll talk about it. But I'm not going to get into silly hypotheticals about coaches when nobody's been fired. So I don't know if they're going to hire, if he's available or not. Would I like him? Sure. Of course I would like Kevin Stefanski. I think he's done a great job over there considering what's gone on. So yeah, but that's silly talk right now. Until we actually fire the head coach, I mean, I don't know. Are they going to keep him for next year too? Just say, you know what? We got to keep Tua for one more year. Let's just keep them all together as a package deal for one more year and just go through it. They don't give a crap about you guys anyways. They're not worried about winning or anything. That's just something they say. But their actions is everything that they speak. So, dude, once they fire coach and we get to a point that there are coaches available and we'll find out, then we'll get into it. But right now, Tony B, it's not worth it. None of it is worth talking about. It's all a waste of time, is what it is, because it's not going to happen yet. I still think it'll happen before week 10. I just wish it would have happened after week 3 because, week 10 is so, week 8 or week 9 or week 7 is so Dolphins because now you got a smaller, what's it called? Smaller average of seeing what whoever you put at head coach, Weaver or somebody else, can actually do. A sample size, a small sample size. Whereas if you would have gotten 14 games, maybe you get a better feel for what he is and you can either keep or move on. This is sad, dude. This is sad. By the way, Shams Charania is reporting that USA Basketball is expected to name Eric Spoelstra as the new head coach of the men's national team. Best coach in the NBA. Spoelstra succeeds Steve Kerr for the next World Cup and the 2028 Summer Olympics after serving as the lead assistant on Team USA's 2024 gold medal squad. No brainer. Best coach in the business. Give me a break. All I want is for these people to give him better talent, right? Jesus, that front office has just not done a good enough job. Anthony Campos says, shit, the show's still going on after birthday and music. Oh, scot-free. Always, which is better, road games, Tampa or at Jags? Tampa, because you get Burns Steakhouse. That's why. I get Burns Steakhouse, I'm good. So, there you go. So, nice job, Eric Spoelstra. I like that. I like it. All right, folks. We appreciate it all out there. Thank you all. We thank Bella Hara for joining us on the program. All right. If you missed anything else, you can rewind and check it out. Sean will post any rants or anything else going on. We thank Sean Stanley too. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the